Hello,
Blog
everyone,
Talk
and
Radio.
welcome to Meloni's Matters. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. And today I have a great show planned for you guys. I have Mr. Marshall Pope who will be stopping by to tell us about his book, and the name of his book is called The Struggle Continues. But before we get into the show, I definitely have to say thank you to my sponsors who have sponsored not only this show but my other ventures that I'm doing. So, guys, as I told you a little earlier on, we have Mr. Marshall Pope with us, and he's going to be telling us about his book. And the name of his book is called The Struggle Continues. How you doing, Marshall?
Hey, how you doing?
I am great. I am absolutely great. And so I gave everyone a little introduction, about your book. So, the title itself, it tells me that a lot of things are going on. So can you just tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure. The Struggle Continues. It's a book of poetry. And our goal in this book is to provide healing for the soul through poetry. It's a book of inspiration. In this book, I have written poems that deals with healing, lost faith, lost hope, starvation, loneliness, hopelessness, poverty, self-destruction, gang violence, low self-esteem, peer pressure, rape, physical abuse, mental abuse. It's a book that contains over 80-some poems. And I always inspired by God, gift that he gave me to write poetry. And I try to use that gift to inspire people in the kind of hardship that they're going through. I believe that the gift that I was given belongs to the world. So, in my book, I say, God is the author, and I'm the writer.
Wow.
And I truly believe that my words, the inspiration that goes out to the lost souls to try to help them see their way through. I use my poetry to help change and inspire people to overcome their hardships. One poem at a time.
One poem at a time. Well, because you cover a lot of area in your book of poems. And I think that maybe you had the mindset that I have to try to, help those people who are in these particular type of situations. So what made you say, okay, I'm just going to write a book on low self-esteem, write a poem on low self-esteem or being in the gang? What made you do that?
Because I grew up in a neighborhood where it was gang infested. I also grew up being bullied. So I grew up with a lot of anger, a lot of pain, and I see it every day in the world. And I just use my gift to try to deal with those issues. Because I felt when I was young, I needed someone to talk to me and help me get through it. So that's why I chose to become an inspiration. God gave me the gift to write poems, and so I want to use it for good instead of using it for bad.
Okay. Wow, that is truly is inspirational. And I often, what I would like to say is that, sometimes when you're going through things, whether you're a child or an adult and you need that outlet, I have a feeling that poetry became your outlet.
Right. I wrote my first poem when I was 16, and it was titled, Who Am I? I wrote that when I was depressed, going through a lot, feeling hopeless, and it's a poem of depression. There's also a poem searching for my identity. It's the first poem I ever wrote.
So, searching for your identity, who am I? What made you want to write that?
Because at the time I was being bullied, and being bullied can really work with you, making you feel like you're nobody, making you feel hopeless, like want to die, and feeling like you don't matter in society. And so I was sitting down on my sofa, and I asked myself, who am I? And as I was sitting there, I had a pen, I had a piece of paper, and I just jotted down some words, and when I finished, I had a poem. First poem. Would you like to hear it?
Absolutely.
Who am I? Where is my home? In a world surrounded by millions, yet I feel alone. Am I alive? Am I dead? Are my dreams only fantasies of the confusion in my head? That I'm not loved? What makes one hate? Unanswered question as these have destroyed my fate. So I am denied to feel with this thing called the heart. If life is so precious, then why must it be so short? For wealth we kill, cheat, and lie. In this bought and sold world, is there nothing money can't buy? Only two words describes my dreams, wishes, and hopes. Life or death. I cannot choose both. I am only a shadow of my own existence. The only passion I feel is the passion for revengeance. This world has mocked me through my experience with pain. There's no more I can lose and no more I can gain. My spirit leaves the ground for its journey to the sky. Till we all meet again in our next lives. Who am I?
Wow. That was excellent. That was excellent. And you said something, 16 years old, and you said something a little while ago. You said that, you wrote it when you were 16 years old. So roughly what year was that?
Roughly.
Give or take.
Give or take, it was...
in the 90s?
I'll say around about that time.
Okay, in the 90s, and the reason why I'm asking you that is because what you felt back then is still going on today, and we're just talking about, bullying, because we see it every day, a kid takes their lives because they feel, like no one can connect with them. They feel like, why am I being picked on because I'm different or, just who am I? So you go through all these different emotions and feelings. So what you were feeling back then is absolutely applicable to what's going on today. I just think today we're just in a worse state because we have the internet and social media. But the game really never changed.
Right. That's what I do.
I think we just added. Yeah, I think we just added some stuff to it.
I'm a sponge for pain. And I try to connect with people through my poetry. Sometimes I even become the character that I'm writing about. I give them a feeling that I feel their pain, so they listen more. And matter of fact, it was a little girl last year. Her first day of school, she was bullied. And on my Facebook page, I wrote a poem called "Because of You." And it was a poem for her, telling how bully made her feel. And in that poem, it was saying, because of you, this is why I feel this way. Because of you, this is why I feel that way. Because no one is addressing this bullying situation in school. And I decided to do that. And the girl mom contacted me. And she had told me that because of that, the child felt better. It gave her self-esteem. Know that somebody was going through or have been through what she had been through. So it made her feel better about herself. That's what I want to do through my poems. I want to touch people's hearts. I want to give them some inspiration and motivate them, and help change their lives.
Right. And I definitely think that you have, or you are, on that road to doing that, because I always say, and I say this to particularly to writers, and you're still, a writer, that if you can get to people's emotions, and if you can connect to people's emotions, then you have them. you know, you have them, and those people will always follow you. I don't care what you do. They will always follow you, and they'll always follow your work. So I think it is very important as, you know, artists, because we do fit in that artist category, but as authors, that we always connect to the people who we're trying to connect to, because if you don't, you're just doing it just to do it.
Absolutely.
You're doing it just to do it, yeah. So what other projects do you have going on now?
Struggle Continues is my 4th book.
Mm.
And I have written my life story, which I titled it Who Am I?, the first poem I ever wrote. And I have also written a book for young African males called Invisible Shackles. Try to give them a focus point on who we were, that we weren't just slaves, that we actually had, you know, powerful black leaders that was never spoken of. So in that book, I try to give them a guideline, and also I try to guide them away from gang violence and drug dealing situations as that. And I mainly use my gift to just motivate people. If that means going to the school speaking, or if that means going to churches and speaking, I do everything I can to try to do God's work. I feel what God put me here to do. Everything I've been through, I feel like there was a purpose for it to get me to this point here, help people.
Right.
I feel like my life was just a test of faith to try to get me to, because I didn't believe in God. A long time I didn't believe in God. And I was the kind that if you said anything about Jesus or God, I would get angry, upset, mad. And I grew up that way. And I grew up after being bullied and stuff. It made me stop caring about the world. It made me start hating. I had a lot of anger inside of me for a long time. And when God touched my heart, I remember the day fell out on my knees and I surrendered. I didn't have nowhere else to go, and I felt like I didn't have no hope. I felt like I just wanted to die. So I said, I surrender. And from that day, He gave me the gift to write poems, books, inspire people. He touched my heart, and for people to see who I used to be to the person I am now, that inspires them alone, you know. Because I was full of hate. Now I'm full of love. Matter of fact, the poem I was telling you about called Because of You, I wanna say that poem.
Sure.
Because of you. I used to feel pretty, but I don't feel so pretty now at all. But you know, because of you, I don't have a mirror hanging on my wall. Every ugly word you ever called me that threw me like a knife. But you know, because of you, I now curse God for giving me life. You can't even tell the color of my eyes anymore for all the tears I shed. But you know, because of you, my once brown eyes have now turned red. Sometimes I feel worthless and empty like the space I take up. But you know, because of you, when I now close my eyes, I pray I never wake up. I don't smile anymore because it hurts too much inside. But you know, because of you, I fantasize of ways to die. My only friend is my pen and hopes this poem awaken minds. May my words bleed like the blood of Christ, and I pray you feel every line. My parents don't understand what I'm going through. I'm willing to bet you can. Because you once was I, preyed upon till you found somebody weaker than. Harass, torment, and humiliate is your power, your handicap. And what was done to you, you now do to me. Do you even know the pain you cause? I think you do. And that's why you bully me.
Wow. As you were speaking, my mind was just painting this picture. And to me, that is what you're supposed to do. That is exactly what you're supposed to do, because what I visualized was that, sometimes when we say things to people that could be very hurtful, whether you're bullying or whether you're, in a relationship or whatever, when you say these things, then that person who has to receive that message feels a certain type of way. And it tears you down. Some people do it maliciously, and some people do it, just because they may be angry at the moment or whatever. But we have to be very cautious of what comes out of our mouths, because it does affect the person who the message is going to.
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I find that, I don't know, that one was about, bullying, but I find that when people are hurt, they hurt people because they don't know another way. And I think that goes definitely with what's going on in today's society with these kids, when you're talking about bullying. They're hurt some kind of way. So what do they want to do? They want to lash out because they're hurt.
That's right. Absolutely.
So I think you're doing a tremendous job. And I hope just with that poem alone that you can take that and, go to different schools, because these kids need to know. They need to know, because, like I said, we see the news almost every day, and someone has committed suicide.
That's true.
Yeah. Now, you said you have 4 books out, correct?
Right.
Okay.
I have 4
now,
books.
They're all
available through Amazon.com. Just put my name in, Marshall Pope. And also, if you're in my city, which is Talladega, Alabama, you see me, you can purchase a book from me and get it autographed.
Right. Okay.
Also, through my website, a lot of people have sent me emails, and I have sent books to them. Marshall Pope at bellsouth.net. And this is my 4th book, The Struggle Continues. It's $15. And my first book is titled The Struggles of Love. Struggle Continues is the second edition to Struggles of Love. Struggles of Love is also a poetry book, and it was poems that was written when I was a teen. And what I did with The Struggle Continues, I just started back from that era and just continued on with writing the poetry the age that I am now. And my second book is Who Am I? It's a book about my life. I once was inspiring to be a rapper, and it tells about my life, was what I went through growing up, and from that point to trying to pursue a dream in a rap career. And the third book, Invisible Shackles, that's the book where I speak to the world, and mainly African American young males. I speak to them in that book because I'm addressing issues such as gang violence and drug dealing, and I'm trying to give them an insight on who they are, what they're worth.
Yeah.
Also,
and go ahead.
Also, in my book, The Struggle Continues, not only do I address the bullying, but I have also poems inside included. I have a poem dedicated to Barack Obama, and I have a lot of poems that deal with single parents and women. I have a lot of poems that where I become writing about, and also about racism. I have a lot of poems that deal with all kind of different issues.
Wow. So you have books of poems that probably deals with every community issue that's going on.
Right.
Yeah.
And also people can reach me on my Facebook page. Author, poet, Marshall Pope.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to ask you this one question about the book about the African American men. I know it's geared towards the African American men, but I'm pretty sure it has messages that everyone can learn from. So
yes, and
with that particular
poetry.
book, with that particular book, what kind of message are you trying to give the African American male population? What kind of message are you trying to give them?
In fact, I have it right here in front of me, and I'm going to get a few words from it.
Okay.
Let my words be the shortcut you need to get you closer to God as we journey together in spirit. You must allow our brains to be the glasses needed to see through all the lies, stare down upon the truth. As long as we keep our eyes on the prize, we will be able to see the truth. Every shut eye is not asleep, and every open eye cannot see. So we must focus our attention on the prize. America has adopted the no-snitch rule and claimed no fault to the crimes committed on black people. It's been over 400 years past, and America still hasn't admitted to their crime against black people, and that's why this book was needed. So it addresses racism head on, and also it speaks directly to young black males as far as what they used as to hurt themselves, as
right. And I was going to ask you that. Yeah.
Inflicting violence upon each other over a $1.99 rag, and all these things that's done in our community that we sometimes do to ourselves. In that book, I actually give solutions. Pastors, preachers have used that book, preach sermons out of. It's a lot of things in that book. First thing I tell them in that book is, you got to go back to the beginning. Beginning, which is God. You got to go back to God, because that's where we're lost at. Many of us have strayed from God. And I was one of them.
Right. I know. And again, the messages they're universal, I think, but they're real specific to what is going on in around us. And there's a lot going on around us, and I think sometimes we just have to go back to, where's my self-accountability? I have to be accountable for something, to make even the environment around me a little bit better. But, we definitely have to get you back on the show because, to talk about the other books in depth. So please just tell everyone how they can get in contact with you.
Yes. They can reach me on my email, Marshall Pope, MarshallPope, @bellsouth.net, or they can reach me by phone, 256-493-7803. And also, you purchase my book, Amazon.com. And all of my books are available online. And also visit me on my Facebook page, Author Poet Marshall Pope. And I have all my books displayed. I also have some inspiring poetry on my page.
Okay.
So they can get a chance to see how I write and the issues that I write about.
Nice. So, Mr. Pope, do you have any parting words for the listeners?
Yes. I love each and every one of you. Keep God first. And our poetry is for the world to inspire, motivate, and change lives. Praise God.
Great. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pope, Mr. Marshall Pope. So, everyone, you stay tuned. Mr. Pope, thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll be talking to you soon.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.